Seems like every website on the planet right now is inundated with these ice bucket challenge videos. You've probably seen a billion on your own in the past 2 or 3 weeks. Someone challenges a friend or a celebrity to donate $100 to the ALS Association. Like everyone on the planet, you probably just don't have $100 sitting in your back pocket waiting for somebody to challenge you to give to some charity you really don't know much about. So the alternative instead is a form of punishment where you dump a bucket of ice water on your head, and instead of $100, you donate $10 to the ALS Association. But you might be wondering what ALS is, and why the ALSA needs your money in the first place. So, Internet, be thankful. I'm here to help you out. So ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and it sounds like a really complicated term, but it's pretty simple when you break it down. We have the word amyotrophic, which basically means no muscle nourishment. The second term, lateral, is a medical term that basically describes anything away from the center of the organism you're dealing with. And last we have the word sclerosis, which basically means the hardening of any kind of tissue. While this description is specific, it's a little bit misleading, because the hardening of these lateral muscle tissues isn't due to a lack of nourishment from the blood, it's due to nerves. But first I'm going to take a cookie break. Brain-to-muscle communication starts at the precentral gyrus of the brain, called the primary motor cortex. Now, the primary motor cortex is going to transmit information to muscle tissue through 2 neurons. First is called the upper motor neuron, which travels from the brain to the spinal cord, where it synapses with another motor neuron called the lower motor neuron. The lower motor neuron, once triggered by the upper motor neuron, is then going to send neurotransmitters to the muscle target, which is going to tell that muscle to contract. At least this is how it works in a normal functioning brain-to-muscle connection. Patients with ALS have degeneration in the upper and lower motor neurons throughout the body. So without any command from the brain, a pre-ALS muscle target that was big and healthy like this is going to atrophy or condense or shrink into a version that looks sort of like this, like a smaller, less functional kind. Once this happens, obviously voluntary movement of these muscles is going to be really, really difficult. And you can understand that life without being able to control these parts of your body would become extremely, extremely difficult. While we understand a bit about what ALS is, we don't really understand what triggers it. We don't yet understand if the cause is genetic or environmental in nature. And as with the study of a lot of diseases, scientific progress on this can be extremely, extremely slow and difficult. So the ALS Association has made it their goal to reach out to people like us so that we might help researchers trying to study the causes, mechanisms, and treatments of diseases like ALS. Go ahead and do the Ice Bucket Challenge, because in reality, you're just doing science. Avery and Kevin from ScienceISFunny donning our data collection suits. I nominate Sandy Mangus, Lindsay George all the way in Cookhouse Island, and Leah,
holding the camera.
Holding the camera.
What?
Yeah, congratulations, surprise. Sorry about this one. Yeah, I have to. And
okay, I'm doing this in honor of my dad, and I nominate Riley Shear and Meredith Diskin and Jessica Lund.
all right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Like a boss.
That is cold.
That's kind of refreshing.
I know.